Have you been trying to stick to a budget? Today I'm going to go through my best tips on how to make a budget that you'll actually stick with. So I was having a chat with my girlfriend the other day and she was like, if we could just make a little more money, then I feel like we'll finally be set, that we will, things will be better, things will happen, things will whatever, right? And I said to her, listen, it doesn't matter if you make more money. If you aren't following any sort of budget, all that's going to happen is your expenses are going to expand to your income, and you're still going to feel the pinch. You're still going to feel the struggle, right, of that income. So with that being said, I wanted to share today, and I thought about this and I was like, oh my gosh, how many people are struggling with their budgets? And I told her about what I do every month and how I stick to my budget, and she was like, right? And I guess my biggest thing why I am only just now starting a channel, right? I've talked about this in the past of like, I waited because I was heavy and I felt really self-conscious about being on camera. But also some of the stuff that I know and I do, I just was like, doesn't everyone know that? Don't people know how to do that? Isn't that just normal? And from talking to friends, from getting out there and talking to more people, I'm realizing more and more that like, no, not everyone knows that. So, like I said, today we're going into, sorry, a little side rant. Today we're going into how to make a budget and stick to it, right? So my budget routine, I have an entire spreadsheet that I will show you. My budget routine consists of every month, towards the end of the month, right? We set the budget and for the future month, right? I find that it's easier if I just go through this first, the first round, and then my husband and I have a meeting, right? So what we do is I go through all of my spreadsheet and I check to make sure every single bill that was supposed to come out for the month has come out, right? Once all of those bills have come out, then I go for the next month and I check to see like, have any bills changed? Is anything going to be different this month? Do we have like an annual membership or like, like the annual Prime or Amazon Music coming out, or will our electric bill be really high this month because we had guests? All those things. I just sort of look the month ahead. Now, a lot of these bills are pretty set. Like those bills are in a range, I would say, every month. So I just fill out the column for all of those things right there. Okay, after that's done, what I do is I then go through like all of our credit cards. We are using credit cards right now that we pay off every week. I didn't know if you knew that, but you can actually set your card to pay off every week. And that's just because we're trying to earn some points for future travel. So normally we don't use any credit cards whatsoever, and we really try to be completely debt free. We own both of our vehicles. We do have a loan on a tractor, but we do have our mortgage, right? But we don't have any other debt as far as things that we're paying for. We went through Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace University, and we're on baby step number 4. I'll have to look that up. So like I said, we go through the month, right? I plan everything out. Then I look at our calendar. So I do this along with my monthly planning routine. So then I look at the calendar and I say, okay, so this month we have the fair. How much are we going to spend at the fair? We have my birthday. How much are we going to spend on birthday dinner? We have a date night. How much are we going to need for that? And I section that out and I put it on the budget. Okay. I don't make a cash envelope for it. I don't, take, right now we don't put it in, like all different separate checking accounts or anything like that. We just have one bills account and one spending account. Okay. And then we have our credit card. So what we'll do, after I'm done filling all those out, is then I have a meeting with my husband and I say, okay, I put the budget together for the month. This is what I'm thinking. What do you think? And then he'll tell me, yes, no, I think we should reduce. I think we should put more here. We always try to over budget because we rather budget a little bit more than we think it's going to be. So for example, we're going to the fair coming up and we said, okay, well, if we think we're going to spend this much at the fair, let's just put in extra $20 just to be safe, because I'd rather spend less money than I expected than go over budget, right? So After we're done doing all of that, and we're approved on the budget, then we're done. We're done, right? All I have to do going forward, because I feel like anybody can just sit down and do the budget, right? But maintaining the budget is the hard one, right? So after that, what we do is we go back to, I have my spreadsheet, and because it's on Google Sheets, I can access it on my phone at any time. And I made you a little video on my phone on how I maintain this budget throughout the month. And it literally takes me 5 minutes. I call this my 5-minute budget spreadsheet, okay? I love my index cards, but this is the only thing I will use, like I think a spreadsheet is better for, because I want it to do the math for me. I don't want to have to be writing out, doing math with my phone, hoping I did the math in my head correctly. So this is probably the only thing I will ever say you should really use a spreadsheet or digital for that's home related, because I love my index cards for everything else, right? So I'm gonna drop that video. So this is my 5-minute budget spreadsheet. So what's really cool about this is that I can do this anytime when I'm like in car line waiting to pick up the kids, when I'm waiting for a doctor's appointment or something in the waiting room, whatever. I can do this really super quick, and I'm always on budget and never have to worry about it. So the way this works is all of the previous months are hidden. So I only have this month I'm working on at a time, right? When I'm on my computer, then I'll expand all the months and see everything. But for when I'm working on just my cell phone, all I want to see is this month, right? So I will open up my banking app in the other tab. And obviously this is not my banking app, but I wasn't going to open up my bank, right? So we're just going to pretend this is my bank, right? So I will open up my banking app in another tab or like on my phone. And then I just toggle back and forth, right? Like this. So as things clear my bank, I just check them off. Like, okay, garbage came in. All right, cool. Life insurance came out. Yep. The mortgage came out. And I put all of these in order of when they hit the bank. So if today is the 28th, then essentially all of these should be zeroed out by now and have all come through, right? And I can just sort of skim through really quickly and say, okay, yep, this one came out, this one came out, yep, this one's out too, yep, this one's done. Oh, the student loan is supposed to come out today. Okay, got it. Now these ones in green, these are the variable ones, and these are the ones that I'll typically either take out in cash or I transfer them over to my separate spending account, which is just my swipe account that I use for all the swiping, all the things, right? I don't use my bills account for that, because if I had all the swipes coming in on this account, this budgeting I'm doing right now would be a pain in the butt, right? It would take forever to go through. So typically I transfer this money out to a different account. That way all my bill money stays protected, okay? So these ones are typically all out already by now because I transferred them at the first of the month, okay? And then I just kind of keep going down like this and keep going, all right? So you may have noticed here at the bottom, okay, that there's these things that are totaling. So it says right now left to pay. So there's a total of $575 that is left to come out of my checking account. That's because the student loan is open still at $75, and then I have $500 here above. Okay. So so what I do is I switch back over to my bank account and I'm like, okay, how much money do I have in the bank account right now? Okay. Yep. So let's say I only had $400 in the bank account right now. Okay, so we'll put this in, 400. Okay, then I have two options. I either need to transfer money of 175, okay, or I'm going to reduce my cushion up here and say, okay, we only have a cushion of $400 right now. So then I just come in here and I change it to 400. And then see, now I am, I still have a little bit more I have to do, right? So we would actually come in and do, if we zero this out, so I think it's going to be 325 we'll just put 0. Okay. If we zero this out, all of a sudden, okay, we have a $325 positive, right? So this makes it really easy. So you can just do it whenever you're on the go. You can just switch back and forth, get it all done, and then you never have to worry about being off budget. Now, one little thing I just want to point out is you see these like separate sections right here that are totaling right here. So the way that I have these separated is this is my if shit hits the fan number. Now this is super important as you're figuring out, how much money can I afford, how much money I need to put in my emergency savings.
I always just make sure that we have 6 months of shit hits the fan money, right? If shit hits the fan, then I'm not going to worry about if I'm paying off my debt. This number will definitely change because I'm not going to spend so much money on Amazon, going out and eating and all those things. I'm just going to have grocery money, right? And these wants, same thing. I will potentially probably think about canceling my Netflix or my Hulu account, right? So having this shit hits the fan number, you can take that number, you can multiply it by 6, and that's the number you should have in your emergency savings. All right, hope that was helpful.
So see, it's super easy. It's super easy for you to make it and then stick to it. And the worst thing that will happen, right? You just have to start, right? It sucks in the beginning. It's not going to be right, but you just have to start. And then the more you do it, the better you'll get at it. The first couple months, you're going to absolutely suck at it, like I said, but it's better than it was the month before. That's all you have to remember. Like when we do some of the cleaning chores we have around the house that my kids help with, they don't do a great job at cleaning. However, it's better than what it was before. And that's all you have to shoot for. 1% improvement, right? And over time, that 1% improvement will lead to a huge improvement, all right? So check it out. I'll link it below if you want access to my 5-minute budget spreadsheet. Hit subscribe and all the jazz and all the things so you can be notified for my next video. And I'll see you on the flip side.